What's going on, everybody? Good to be back. Good to be back at you with another video. It's been a long time since I've come out with a video, and I know every time I say it, and I'm going to keep saying it, that I'm going to get more consistent with my uploads. And it's going to happen. I promise you that. It's going to happen at some point. But no, in all honesty, guys, I wanted to make this video, feeling a little bit inspired to get back into YouTube and everything like that. And I actually wanted to make a video about something that I feel like a lot of people make videos about, but they don't give you a lot of clarity and they don't really get into the nitty gritty as to what they're talking about. So that's why I'm making this video. Today, basically, I wanted to talk about how I invest my money with my salary. So if you don't know, I am on a salary. I work a pretty, standard 9-to-5 type job. So I know that that's something that a lot of people could relate to, because I know a lot of people are either hourly or salary. So typically you're gonna fall into one of those two types of buckets. I have been, I'd say, pretty good about how I allocate my money and what I'm spending my money on. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about kind of the finer details as to what I take home in a monthly salary and how much of that goes into savings, how much of that goes into my investments, and how much of that is free for me to spend. So to give you a little bit of background, I am 23 years old. I make $90,000 a year, and I'm on a salary, and I take home one paycheck a month. So I know that a lot of people are probably used to taking home a paycheck once every 2 weeks, or some people maybe weekly. For me, I get paid once a month, so it makes it a little bit easier. I just get that one lump sum payment, and then it goes off into whatever it's being allocated to. So I get paid on the 28th of the month. So I actually, at the time I'm making this video, I got paid today. So that's probably what sparked me to want to make the video today. But I get paid towards the end of the month, and then all of my money leaves my account on the first of the next month, whether that's going to the savings or investments or whatever it may be. So all of that money leaves then, and then anything that I have left over essentially is what I can spend throughout the course of the next month. Basically guilt-free, knowing that I've already put my money away in my investments and my savings accounts. So everything else I'm good to use. Just have to make sure I have enough money to put, food on the table and everything like that. So let's get into it. I literally have my bank statement pulled up right here, and then my little budget tracker as to kind of where I allocate my money. So what you guys are gonna be hearing from me is coming right from what I'm making and where it goes. My take-home pay, what I just took home in this paycheck was $4,679.80. Now, that is what I took home after my 401k contribution. And my 401k contribution is something that is taken out of my paycheck automatically every month before I even see the money. So I have it set up so that I deduct out $975 every month from my paycheck, which is approximately 13% of my pay, and that goes into my 401k plan through the company I work for. Now, my company offers a 5% match, which equates to an additional $375 a month. That's how much is going into my 401k program. So the $46.79.80, that is going to be the money that essentially I have free reign to do with it what I want. I don't want to see that 401k money. I don't want to see it in my paycheck. I want it to lower my taxable income. So that's why I have decided to invest into the 401k program. But anything else coming out of that roughly $4,700-ish is going to be what I choose to do with it. So the next thing that comes on the list of investments for me, and I'll start with my investments, and then I'll go into savings, and then I'll go into spendable income. But the next thing on my investment list is going to be my Roth IRA. So I do take part in a Roth IRA through Vanguard, and that is going to be $500 that I invest post-tax, so money that I've received in my paycheck, is going to be going into that Roth IRA Vanguard account. Now, with the Roth IRA, you can contribute a maximum of $6,000 a year at my income level. So I have elected to do 12 months, $500 every month. It gets me up to my $6,000 a year limit. No problem, works out perfectly. So that's $500 again that's going to be leaving my account. And I have a breakdown here, so that is approximately 8.8% of my income is going to my Roth Next is going to be stock investments. So I invest $600 a month into individual stocks. I know some people hit or miss on whether or not they want to invest in stocks. My Roth IRA is all index funds. And then my brokerage account that is also through Vanguard, where I keep all of my stock picks, that is going to be $600 a month, 10.6% of my income. Basically, I've just chosen from a few of the most prominent, well-known stocks, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, any of those stocks that over time have just proven to do well is typically what I invest in. And I know some people don't prefer to invest into regular stocks, and that's fine. You can invest any other disposable income into index funds as well, but that's how I choose to do it. So $600, 10.6% of my income is going into individual stocks. So that basically breaks down anything that I'm sort of investing into the market. So whether that's my 401k, my Roth IRA, or individual stock picks, that's anything that's going into the stock market. I also invest just a small $200, which is 3.53% of my income, into a savings account, essentially just my emergency fund. It really generates me almost no interest. With current interest rates, it's at about 0.5%, which is actually pretty high considering where interest rates are sitting right now. It used to be generating about 1.5% interest. When I signed up for it, it was at a 1.5%. But that was obviously before everything happened, and interest rates have taken a massive drop since then. So as a result, you're going to be receiving less of a yield on your money if you keep it in a savings account. So if you look at my direct investments as a total, between that savings account, $200 a month, as well as the Roth, the 401k, and the stock picks, that is going to be $2,275 every single month, which is about 40% of my take-home income is going to be going into direct investments such as those. And now to get into some of the expenditures, and I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of every single thing that I spend money on. Just some of the bigger things so that you guys can kind of get an idea as to what some normal expenses are going to look like for you, things that are going to be reoccurring, things that you're going to see a lot, relatively the same across most people. Because, for example, my first expense that I have on here is rent. Now, obviously, most people are going to either have a mortgage or they're going to have rent or some dollar amount to live where they're at. So my rent payment is $800 a month, which equates to 14.1% of my income. So that's going to be probably my biggest, most common reoccurring expenditure that you're going to have. Following that is going to be health insurance. I pay about $80 a month for health insurance, 1.4% of my income. Car insurance, I pay $124, which is 2.2%. Food, $320 a month. A gym membership, utilities, internet, and then I allot about $200 a month for entertainment. So the total between all of those things is roughly going to be about $400-ish, $300 to $400-ish, which is going to equate to about 8 to 9% of my total income. Basically, my expenditures every month, just in terms of recurring expenditures, is going to equate to about $1,600, which is roughly 28% of my income, almost 29%. So as you can kind of see here with my sort of mix that I have going on, I'm investing about 40% of my income, and then recurring expenditures are going to be about 30% of my income. So we have a total of about 70% of my income is essentially already been determined based on these pre-existing payments or expenditures of some sort that I have an obligation to pay. So you can see that it is definitely a bit of a shock, and to know that you might only have 30% of your income that's really readily available can be tough for some people. But this is just how I do it. You don't need to be investing 40% of your monthly income into investments. It's just something that, since I'm young, it makes more sense for me to get into this and to invest aggressively now, because in the long term, it's going to pay a lot more in dividends, as opposed to maybe starting with a more conservative 15 to 20% and then trying to graduate up into the 40 to 50% when I'm older. So that's just the way I do it. Just a little bit of a glimpse as to how I spend, and then I have that 30% of disposable income. Plus I've, allotted $200 a month in entertainment, so roughly $50 a week in terms of like going out, maybe getting a few drinks, going out to dinner, something like that. Personally, not somebody that needs to go out to dinner all the time, but definitely want to budget and be able to go out and get drinks or whatever that may be, maybe go out to a concert, something like that. in that sort of expenditure, that constant expenditure column. So you can kind of budget that into what you're spending every month if you want to, and that's something that I sort of do, kind of take a hybrid approach there. So yeah, that kind of wraps it up, guys. I can provide a screenshot on the screen now. You guys can sort of take a picture of it if you want to reference it and see kind of how you'd like to allocate your money more so percentage-wise. I know obviously we're not all making the same. Some people might be making 20, 30K a year. Some people might be making 200K a year. Doesn't really matter. This is, I feel, a solid way to set it up. I've taken a lot of time and research to figure out kind of what works best for my lifestyle. And if you're able to do this on a constant basis and not even look at the money leaving your account, you could be amazed to see where your account numbers are sitting in a year, 5 years, 10 years. I've only been doing this for roughly a year and a half since I've been in the market or in the workplace. And it's pretty crazy to see how much it has impacted all of my accounts just in terms of the dollar amount. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to toss it a like as well. Thanks so much. Have a good one. Peace.